morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Team D Performance YouTube channel. You're probably asking, why hasn't he posted a video in so long? Well, I'm about to show you. Since you guys last seen the Maverick, it is a running, driving car. Swapped the rear end for an 8.8. Bumps in the trunk, battery in the rear, fuel hat in there. It's fuel injected on Terminator X. Rear panels could use some help. Little 302 with a B cam, Flowtech heads, nothing crazy. And so where have I been? Non-stop working on this car to get it ready for the Redwood Rally. And today is September the 20th. It's about 8:30 in the morning. I already wanted to leave at 8, but like every other drag and drive event, we're behind. I came in about 4:30 this morning. Got a few hours of sleep, and I'm loading a few things in this trailer, and we're gonna be heading out. I broke my hand a couple weeks ago, so I have had to rely heavily on Tim. If it wasn't for Tim, we wouldn't even be close to making it. I can do a few things with my hand, but when it comes to hitting anything with a hammer or doing anything, it ain't happening. So yeah, that's where we're at. Had some issues with the paint on a little Nash that's at my house, and things just work out in weird ways. I was trying to have this Nash to upholstery while we were gone on this trip, but spent the last few months chasing around some 20-year-old paint that they don't have anymore and dealing with painters that screw things up. And so kind of got off of that project, got full blast on the Maverick. So hopefully when I get back, there's parts that are painted for this Nash and I can get the engine in this thing and get it delivered to the customer. But we are getting ready to get on the road. Our plan is to drive this Maverick today from our home in the Mojave Desert to San Francisco, stay the night in San Francisco, and get up and go to Central Point, Oregon on Sunday, which is where the first leg of the Redwood Rally starts. So this car is completely untested. My son barely learned how to drive stick shift. Hasn't even driven the car with a trailer behind it, nor has he made a quarter-mile pass. So this should be a week of firsts. He's been told, just be patient, take it all in. And the only thing I asked of him was, let's just try and improve from Monday to Friday. But beyond that, please, Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, let us even make this trip. Like I said, nothing is tested, so I have no idea how this is gonna go. All right, what time is it, babe? 9:54. 9:54, we're out. Coop says he's nervous, but we armor all it up, washed it up, and that's about as good as it's gonna get. Here goes nothing.
Guys ready?
Yeah.
Well, we made it to Valencia.
All right, we are in a little town called Fillmore. We got held up in Valencia because we are having clutch issues still. We wrapped this clutch cable, I'll show you. We wrapped the header and we're still having a hard time with the clutch engaging and disengaging. So I think I put all the stuff from a donor Fox body in here, and I think what might be happening is that the pedal doesn't have enough travel to do everything that we're asking it to do. So right now I have the clutch quadrant screwed all the way out. We're actually able to drive from Valencia, California to Fillmore. But when you're in fifth gear or any gear and you try and give it some gas, it shudders, almost like the clutch isn't all the way out. So like I said, I made a bracket to stop the pedal. We're going to take a little bit off that bracket, and hopefully that'll give the pedal some more movement. And that's going to be that. And we'll see what happens. I'm half tempted to overnight a hydraulic throwout bearing and be done with it. So we've got that cable wrapped. We've got the clutch quadrant all the way out. The cable's wrapped in heater stuff and header stuff. The header's wrapped, and we're still having issues. So we're gonna go into O'Reilly and grab a few things. Hopefully we can fix this thing to where the clutch will seat all the way and we can get on a 101 and just start motoring. Got it. All right, Coop, push it. And then off. One more. All right.
2 hours later.
So we gave the pedal more travel, filled the car up, and got back on the road. And sometimes it would shift fine, and sometimes it wouldn't.
So enjoy his show. You are in great hands. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Same place, same time, back here at Human East on Classic Rewind. Thank you so much for listening today. Appreciate you, as always.
Boys driving. Still have problems with the clutch not fully disengaging. Something ain't right. We're just gonna cruise and try and get to the hotel. Tony and Tess are gonna bring us a clutch. See what happens. Well, we're in King City, which is outside of like Salinas. Dang, my phone's dirty. We're at some new restaurant. It's kind of dirty in here. And it was $60 for 2 burgers and a salad.
Small salad. Side salad.
A lot of money, like we're rich. Anyways, still having clutch problems. The cable doesn't feel as weird now, but you can have the clutch pushed all the way in, and the clutch is still grabbing, trying to pull the car forward. So, anyways, we're gonna eat dinner and then get back on the road.
Put your hand down. Filming. It's so bumpy.
Well, we made it to San Francisco. They just had to push it because we pulled in here and the clutch would not let the car like go in gear at all. Like, it just wasn't disengaging at all. So we're gonna let stuff cool down and try and get it parked into a better spot and see what happens. Tony and Tess showed up at the hotel. We checked in for the night and went to bed. Well, it's Sunday, about 8 o'clock, and we're gonna pull this transmission out and hopefully see what the issue is. A little chilly. We gotta do it on this crappy ground. So, got Coop with me, and we'll see how long it takes. I got a busted up right hand and my left hand got burned. So, we'll see how this goes. All right, so we think we found the problem. Here's a photo that my son took, and it looks like I didn't get the pressure plate all the way seated on the flywheel. So some of the fingers were concentric and nice, and then some of them were off. And so obviously that, as it's spinning, I think what happened is it cocked the throwout bearing sideways, and we ended up knocking off the bearing retainer tube, that's the snout that sticks out around the input shaft, and then we wore a groove in the input shaft. So I'll show you that. We wore a groove here, and so we're gonna put some new parts on it and try and clean up that input shaft, and hopefully that's the only issue we have.
What? Yeah, it's just that he mounted the pedal so it had a lot of travel for Coop. But so you can take that and just pull it back out. There's like a rod, so push the rod forward and it won't let the pedal.
Please, Jesus, no problem.
This knee down.
Yeah. But get one muffler V-band going, and then we'll do the other one.
Alright, don't drop it.
Yeah, them fuckers got covered.
There they are up there working on the car. Hopefully we can get on the road soon.
So as I'm editing this video, I realized that I didn't film the fact that we took this transmission out 2 times. So the first time we took it out, put all the brand new ACT stuff in there, clutch, flywheel, pressure plate, pounded the bearing retainer back into the transmission, got it all up in there. Same exact thing, same exact issue. Couldn't figure out what was going on. Tony made some phone calls to a couple people. We took the transmission back out, left the bell housing on, started to check and see what the measurements were, and couldn't figure out what was going on, so pulled the bell housing back off. We had enough throw on the fork to make the clutch disengage, but it still wouldn't disengage. It was being weird. Took the bell housing back off, and lo and behold, the bolts that I used, the ARP bolts that I had purchased a long time ago, they had a shoulder on them, and that shoulder, when the aluminum flywheel was on there, the threads that initially go into the flywheel were kind of collapsed, and it would kind of let the pressure plate set against the flywheel. When we put the steel flywheel from ACT on there, that shoulder hit the flywheel and would not allow the pressure plate to seat against the flywheel. So when we put it all back together, we had the same issue. As soon as Tony actually figured this out, we put it all back together. Tess went and got some new bolts, and we put it all back together, and using the clutch alignment tool, we were able to check without the transmission in there that when Cooper would press the clutch in, the disc would actually turn, and we knew it was fixed. We put the car all back together, and this is what happens next.
he's almost 50, but he looks like he's 13 here. Where's it released? Right on the floor.
Oh yeah!
Well, we're in Weed, California, and we're about 100 miles away or something like that. Tone's cleaning his window. Steph and Cooper in the Maverick. We got a vibration going on. I don't know if it's the angle of the dangle, like if I've got the U-joints not. The transmission's down at 5 degrees and the pinion's down at 3, so we might have that issue going on, but hopefully we make it and we'll have time tomorrow to screw around because it's test day. Well, it's almost midnight and we made it to Medford, Oregon. Just got checked into our room. Tomorrow I need to go over this car and do a nut bolt check. First time, it's last registered in 09 and we didn't put many miles on it before we left town. So I need to nut and bolt check it tomorrow. I want to change the oil. I want to check the pinion nut and make sure it's tight, like go over all that type of stuff. Pretty mean vibration in 4th gear. I think we may have, like I said before, messed something up with the input shaft being messed up in the transmission. 4th gear is the input shaft in a T5, so but I got to get something out of it from the boy. Catch up with you guys tomorrow.